Jonathan Joestar here with Rhyme Signatures, the nerdiest music review this side of pretending I know anything about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, in a vain attempt to capture your attention and maintain your ongoing viewing of this video. And today we are going to be doing a review of the new Babymetal album. The other one. Let's be real for a second here. Has there ever been a more polarising band to strike out at the hearts of metalheads around the world than Babymetal? Combining the sickly saccharine sweet of Japanese bubblegum pop with the extraordinarily violent and aggressive metal simply doesn't work on paper. Now, there are many things in this world that contrast well and are now almost universally loved. Sweet and sour pork, salted caramel pudding, for example, both classics and both often finding themselves on my dinner or dessert plate. But the idea of blending Slipknot-style savagery with the opening theme tune to Fruits Basket had never been something I'd remotely thought about combining, or even really wanted. You see, I'm not the biggest fan of Japanese as a sung language. I've become almost conditioned to associate it with anime openings, and I'll put myself up on the firing line for this one, but I just don't generally vibe with anime outside of Studio Ghibli films, or the occasional dip into things like Attack on Titan or Death Note. So because I have this association, I found it initially very difficult to get on with Babymetal. Back in 2014, when I was first subjected to the angular contrasts of Gimme Chocolate, I burst out laughing, as did many people I would imagine. These teenage high-pitched vocals soaring over the top of Satan's own personal band was the most hysterical contrast, and I found Babymetal's first record more of a meme or a joke at first. But there was something oddly compelling about it that I couldn't quite put my finger on, and I kept coming back to it. Kept finding myself enjoying the absurdity of it. And eventually I managed to hear past the super kawaii vocals and found that underneath it all was a metal band who absolutely ripped. The music on Babymetal was astonishingly good, full of complex and intricate guitar work, beastly breakdowns, furiously technical drumming, and some of the most confident and inspired compositions I'd heard in years. So I started taking the band more seriously, and after their sophomore Metal Resistance came out in 2016, and then third album Metal Galaxy in 2019, I was hooked. The band had achieved the impossible. They had fused some of the most polar opposites of sounds, smashed them together, and made it work. And not just on an ironic level, they had made it sound like a marriage made in heaven. And I am still astonished that they were able to take this, run with it, and are now coming at us with their fourth studio record. Now, there'd been a little bit of a mix-up in the band's lineup prior to this release, as the band lost one of their three babies, as Yui Metal had departed, leaving both Su Metal and Moa Metal to tackle vocal duties between them now as a duo, while the indomitable Kami band provided the instrumentation as always. So what does this diminished size mean? How do Babymetal sound now as a duo rather than a trio? Honestly, this record is a big glow-up in terms of the maturation of the band's signature style and attitude. If the previous three records were baby metal, then the other one is most assuredly grown-up metal. This is a much slimmer, more streamlined and direct album than their first three, coming in at an easily digestible 41 minutes long instead of the near hour-long releases prior. This trimming of around 20 minutes has given us one of the strongest sets of 10 songs in the band's career, though. Everyone sounds so confident and self-assured here. Su Metal especially sounds fantastic, and her vocal delivery has the energy of an anime protagonist post-transformation into their final form. She is wonderful to listen to on this album, as is Moa Metal, and they both do an incredible job of spearheading the album into soaring heights that we haven't yet heard from the band. Speaking of the band, the Kami band are on absolutely tip-top form here, exploring just about every conceivable style of modern metal throughout the album's runtime. There's not as much of an emphasis on creating the hilarious contrast here, and there are far more occasions where the music fits the powerful vocals better than ever before. This is not an album where you come to laugh at the idea of cute Japanese vocals plus death metal. This is an album you come to if you want some seriously kick-ass Japanese metal. What I love most about this album is just how individual every single song sounds. Each track on here is a journey that stands loud and proud by itself, but still sounds thematically coherent from start to finish. From the brutal savagery of Divine Attack Shingeki to the European jump style and drum and bass of Metalism, from the proggy instrumental grooves of Mirror Mirror to the epic closing ballad of The Legend. There's never a dull moment to be found on the other one, and it's incredibly addictive to just hit play and let the entire record throw you around the room from start to finish. I've not had this much pure popcorn fun with a record all year so far, and I will definitely be replaying and revisiting favourites of this one for months to come. Now, this certainly won't convert anyone who's previously stuck their nose up at the band with the trite and boring argument of them not being real metal, blah 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 blah. But Babymetal at this point in their careers know exactly who their target audience is, and they haven't been afraid to grow and mature alongside them. The other one showcases a band who have transcended past the novelty of their very nature and pushes forth a band who more than justify not only their continued existence, but also with a very promising future ahead of them. So, what else can I say about Babymetal's The Other One? This is a dramatic upswing from a band that could have very easily been consumed by their own meme and continued shoveling out anime x death metal singles for years, or at the very least until the internet got bored of the novelty. This is instead a triumphant display of a band who have been determined to showcase to the world that they are so much more than what they first appear as. The slimmed down runtime, maturation in songwriting, broader scope and scale of the vocal performances, and fearless blending of modern metal techniques has made for a record that is effortlessly entertaining and is a perfect jumping in point for the band to prospective new fans. I would very comfortably say that I'd be happy to recommend you buy this one digitally, if only for the fact that Babymetal's mere existence will continue to piss off a certain stubborn subsect of the internet. Even if the band was to release a record that is essentially this generation's Dark Side of the Moon, you'd still have people yelling from the sidelines that they aren't a real band. You can't change some people's minds though, no matter how hard you try. But I would urge you to at least stream this a couple of times. You never know, you might be pleasantly surprised by what you find inside. This, guys, is all of course just my opinion, as you know, so if you have given this one a listen to, let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. If there's anything else coming out this year that you think I should check out, that you think lies within my wheelhouse and I'd vibe, enjoy, etc, please let me know about it. Love to listen to it, always on the lookout for new stuff. If you like this video, please do share it with anyone who you think would enjoy it. Please as well, of course, consider subscribing for some more content. And of course, as always, if you really like what I do, please do consider clicking my Ko-fi link in the description box down below as well. Until next time, guys, keep your rhyme signatures odd.